Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name's Fred Grace, and today's show is about the transmutation of the elements. So get prepared. Today's physics lesson are coming at you, and we have a lot of information to discuss. Most of it is from fairy tales and legends and lore, but in actuality, these photographs from NASA were actually hacked probably back in 2010, 2012. And I published them right along with many other YouTubers. And then somewhere way down the line, like 2014, NASA finally released this photo and said it was theirs. But unfortunately, if your shit gets hacked and you haven't released it to the public, I think legally it's not yours because you was in possession of it, but you didn't use it. It's kind of like adverse possession where somebody can steal your land because you don't use it. And it doesn't matter if you're paying the taxes on it or whatever. But anyway, this is the basic transmutation of the elements is what you're looking at. You see, you cannot transmutate an element without utilizing the vacuum of space. Now, there is a individual who was arrested. His name was Paul Pantone. He is deceased now, from what I understand. And his saga and lives on YouTube. So if you have time and you would like to listen to a very interesting man who I look up to and admire very much, Paul Pantone, Inventor Jailed, will get you started. And he basically talks about an engine that runs off vapors or mist. And this mist is in tubes, and there's like a reaction chamber where he uses some sacred geometry and vortex technology under the vacuum of space and can create enormous amounts of electricity. And that electricity is just like this little white dot in the middle, kind of like a little star, and it forms a aurora borealis, and it has an Oort cloud, or like that, the red ring on the outside there is like the Oort field. And particles get held up in that area, and you could just imagine that the white dot in the middle is like the sun, and the yellow band would be the aurora borealis. Now, all this changes throughout the development of a star, and this could actually be a picture of the birth of a star. So some of these photos, this one NASA really hasn't even claimed yet. This is the sacred geometry that they don't want you to know about, because all this leads back to quantum technology. So now that you're primed and I got you pumping, let me get right into the transmutation of elements. And it was Paul Pantone and his plasma generator that begun this whole thing. He brought it out in like the 80s, and then this technology, he started receiving some very phenomenal effects, such as red plasmoids and which are dangerous. These things will burn a hole right through you. And that's where the movie Eraser that Arnold Schwarzenegger was in leads back to turning. Actually, there's utilizing quantum technology and having a full understanding of Paul Pantone's plasma generator and the GEAT reactor. You can create red plasmoids. As you develop more skill, you can piece things together and make a weapon. And that weapon would be a red plasmoid gun, the one that was used in the movie Eraser. So let's get out of that. Let's get back to the transmutation elements. We won't get into weaponry and the quantum technologies that that the deep state is using. And I'm a very big critic right now of the deep state because I know their methods and of operation, and they like to use heroin to raise funds, and they like to control people with abductions, and they like to use hallucinogenic drugs such as barbiturates and other drugs such as scopamine, which makes you susceptible to suggestion. So if somebody was really nice and they just asked you, hey, would you give me a little bit of money, and you would be more than willing to go all the way to the bank and give them your card and give them your PIN number as they drained your account. As a matter of fact, you would drain your own account for them and give them the money because you are susceptible to suggestion. Okay, the other barbiturates and the hallucinogenics, these type of things, they fake the alien abductions, and so when you do that and you return your asset back, and they say they was abducted by an alien, that alien is basically a man like me or you who is a member of the deep state and has a mask. Now, this goes directly into Hollywood. These masks, there is no object. Money is not an object. All right, welcome back, guys. Thanks for watching. And now the conclusion of the transmutation of elements. These types of legends and lore, such as Rumpelstiltskin and his spinning wheel, and connect to the movie Once. It's not really a movie, it's like a series. And it seems that somebody had a plasma generator running, which created the bubble, the electromagnetic field that's in red on this picture. And it encompassed a city, and weird things were happening inside the bubble where time and space had been manipulated ever so slightly, that it confused people in the city. And it wasn't until they actually left the city and got out of the bubble created by the plasma generator. Okay, so that actually takes you down the rabbit hole and leads you to S4, where the looking glass device is. Now, do we have more than one looking glass? Yes, because it takes the looking glass um, to create elements harder than diamonds. So on the hardness scale in our science, that we have diamond as the hardest known substance known to man, but in actuality we can create a frequency which alters the state of which can alter the states of matter. So I don't want to get exactly into how, but a plasma generator creates a field, uh, and it, let's just say that elements can be subjected to this field, which is close to a frequency, and you can make, well, let's say you can transmutate liquids into solids that are harder than diamonds. So this is quantum technology that is not out of the box. Even discussing it makes me sound like a mental case. So I'll continue with this discussion, but I do understand the criticism, and I do understand that some of this information, due to the fact that it's quantum technology, makes me sound like a mental case. But I assure you, my faculties are on the level, and I am speaking the truth because somebody has to bring it out. So, and we got to do it in a way where it's scientific and it's provable. So, on that note, I have built a plasma generator and it did work. However, we did not utilize the proper fuel to make more electricity. But that piece has been put together, and I refuse to put it out there in this video because I'm not really out here to teach on YouTube about how to do all this stuff. And when I do some of these things, I'm going to show proof of concept. I'm going to break a few laws of nature on a few more videos coming up within this year. And it's going to be exciting for me to prove that this technology is definitely obtainable, and it could be usable. It's just that I've used my free will to not put this stuff on video, but later I will, and I just have to rebuild a plasma generator, and then I need to make another device which will charge the ground in the same manner that Tesla did. Okay, so I'm out of time. Thank you for listening, and wait for more.